All right, welcome back to Play and Talk. This is the second special episode of with Anthem involved. I'm Noronak, and this here is Shadowhawk. Unfortunately, my brother Silicon Tide is unavailable right now because he's off playing Pathfinder, or at least getting ready to play Pathfinder. And this time, I got a list of things to talk about because over the past few weeks, some of the topics I want to talk about have eluded me. And Shadowhawk has watched this one movie. What was it called again?
It was Miss Bala that I watched, though. Also, pay to anyone watching the stream. Really, great to be here again.
Yeah. Indeed, right?
So, you want to talk about your stuff or mine? Admittedly, yours will probably be longer than what I have.
Yeah. So, first things, a couple of weeks ago with the Star Wars game that's supposed to be made by Fitzgerald, that was canceled.
That was canceled, and then EA.
Have you met the chronicler yet?
I don't remember if it was
She's
EA Vancouver or EA
prickly.
Motive that
Proceed
took
with
over.
caution.
I can't remember which of those two.
Motive.
Motive. Okay.
Haven't been over to
Yeah,
the
that was
Helios
there.
in a
I
while.
was disappointed that it got there, but I couldn't really say I was super bummed out because there really wasn't much known about it outside of a premise. And for some people, the premise is enough, but for me, I kind of need something more before I can officially go, yes, I'm excited. I'm super disappointed. Like 1313, basically. Like, after that, I saw the trailer, the gameplay that was there. I'm like, oh, wow, this looks awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. And when the news came, oh, guys, actually, it got canceled, I'm like, damn it, this game looked like it had a lot of potential. Like, something like that. But because there was nothing seen there, I couldn't really get hyped over it. I'm sort of having that same reservation for Fallen Order. I'm not thinking that the guys at Respawn are going to screw up, but it's just before I can really get excited, I want to know more of what it's going to look like before I do.
Right. I'm actually looking forward to, everybody was, some of my friends seem to be convinced that that's not going to be like a non-multiplayer or non-open world game, and I'm sending you an invite to the
I kind of do wonder how Fallen Order would be, though, as in, are they going to take inspiration from, say, the Star Wars The Force Unleashed era of camp? I mean, I like the game, but I kind of hope not, personally. I would just kind of prefer that it's something brand new. But I would say, though, that, I would say personally, but there is that it could be, or could it be taking more or could it take more inspiration from, say, the Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy games that a lot of people often regard as the best? I mean, be that. I mean,
speaking of which, guess what's going to be on Xbox Gold pretty soon? Jedi Academy.
oh, is it now?
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's a little. It sucks that that the games has pretty much been canceled, but there are the games like.
I mean, from what I'm told, though, at least from what Ben Walk, the community manager of Battlefront 2, said on Twitter, Fallen Order is progressing well, and Ask a Game Dev, who, because he seems to know people, he says that the other games that are also progressing well, it was just mainly the that open world one, and even then, the... Oh.
Sorry about that. You were saying?
Shit, I lost my train of thought.
It happens. You in my group?
Yeah, I would say you can actually increase the difficulty to at least normal, so that way we get better loot. Best to play on harder difficulty so that the loot is better.
Right. Yeah. So yeah. So what did Ben? What was it? What was the last time again? The community manager. What did you say? That that Fallen Order.
Yeah, Ben walked that. He actually said that so far that Fallen Order was progressing well, and asked a game dev who, because the fact that he seems to know people in a lot of the big industry, in a lot of the bigger companies, and says that the other games though outside of that EA Vancouver game are also progressing strongly. It's just a matter of the fact that the reason that the first one was due is because the first time when it was under Visceral's rule, it was just a mess of a development. None of the stuff that the people at Visceral were building could be good. The scope that they had was outside, or at least their vision was outside of the budget that they could have. Amy Hennig and the rest of the leadership, who were mainly in charge of building the game, were regularly having infighting because they were just basically people on different wavelengths who had different ideas for it. It was just a mess.
Sorry to interrupt, but does that sound a bit like Andromeda?
Turn it on
except
without
that the game
tripping over
came out?
something.
Basically. So then that's where EA Motive came in, and at least from it they were building, and it was not so much that they couldn't build it, but the problem was mainly scheduling, because apparently EA needed a Star Wars game to be released by 2020, and I can only imagine that Motive just said, look, we cannot finish the game by that point, we would need more time. So that's why instead EA, at least for that project, didn't only cancel it within the early stages, and at least props to EA, nobody was laid off, they just got moved to different projects, so I'm at least happy that those people didn't lose jobs.
Yeah.
And so basically that's where now there's that smaller scale game that EA Vancouver is supposedly working on. By smaller scale, I wonder what exactly that means.
I'm actually looking forward to a game of smaller scale.
I honestly would prefer that as well, because again, I kind of think in many ways I'm happier for that, because it removes the amount of clutter that it can have, that the large scale games tend to have, where I'm just like, okay, I'm wading through the shit, when do I get to the stuff I actually care about?
Yeah, it's like they did it in Inquisition, like you got another Requisition for you. It's not as bad.
Yeah, I know, stuff like that.
It's not as bad as an Andromeda, though.
Oh yeah, where there were all those side missions that were really annoying, but were surprisingly hard to actually do all of. So it just eventually reached the point that I'm just like, you know what, I don't actually care to do this stuff. Why am I even bothering? So I just feel satisfied after I beat the allies and relationship missions and the main quest, and then I'm like, okay, I'm finished, I feel satisfied.
Oh, by the way, my interceptor looks like Eva Unit 1 from Evangelion.
Awesome. Me, I just had my, just nothing special for me. I just had my Storm just basically painting the colors of, like the carbon fiber skin, from Genji. At least that's the colors I based it off of.
Let me think. Okay, next up,
But outside of that, but the main thing that I find the most funny when I think about it was mainly the backlash of people complaining that, oh my god, yeah, you have hardly released any games though, which immediately my mind went, wait a minute, but you guys were bitching at Ubisoft and Activision for doing just that with Assassin's Creed and Call of Duty. You guys constantly bitching, oh my god, you guys are just milking the shit out of the franchises. You're just releasing a new game every year that really has that is just the same as the last one. Okay, so why is it now that you're complaining there's not enough?
With, like, the microtransaction stuff, but that's, I think we already talked about that, didn't we?
I always say when it comes to microtransactions, the way I hear people complain, in my head it mentally translates to when I worked at a convention last year. Even before I worked at it, I still have the same mindset, which is where whenever I would hear something along the lines of what the prices were to get a picture or an autograph or whatever with an actor, sometimes actors at these conventions also do voiceover, so like, I don't know, you want to have a ringtone and you just want to have them say your name or whatever. Whenever I would hear them ask for that, and then they would see there's a price attached, where they would, a lot of the people would say like, what, I have to pay to be able to do this? And I'm like, thinking to myself, yeah, that's so outrageous, as long as you don't know where that money goes. Like, I'll use an example for the convention thing. For those who don't know, I actually live close to Orlando. At MegaCon, Jason Momoa from Aquaman is going to be showing up there for Saturday and Sunday. So let's put the prices in.
My brother actually met him.
So let's...
Like, high five and all.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Yeah, my brother would love
Oh, sweet. But, so what happened was that, so I'm saying to put the expenses in, Connor, just do at least basic math head sheet in your head. So let's just say, I don't know where Jason Momoa would be, because the fact he's a busy guy, he goes all over. But let's say for a starting point, California. So that means that they have to fly him from California to Florida, and obviously either back or to wherever the next location he's going to. So let's just round about and let's just say about $500 though in plane tickets for a round trip. Again, if we're just talking about from California.
Yeah,
okay, he gets to the airport.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he gets from the airport. Okay, where does he go from there? Is he going to walk to the hotel, the convention center? No, you got to get lifts to go get him over there. So that means you got to pay more money. And considering how far the Orlando airport is, the Orlando International Airport, to the convention center, that's going to be a drive, and it's easily going to round at least about $40 to and from. So that's another $80 right there. Hotel stays. They're not going to put Jason Momoa in some like crappy $50 hotel. They're going to put him in one of those nicer hotels, ones that are at least $300 a night.
So
$600 right there.
$600.
Also, Jason Momoa, he needs a break room. I mean, what's it? When he's not doing autographs or taking pictures, he has to have somewhere that he can eat, drink, do whatever it is that he wants to do. Need a break room for that, so you have to make sure that's in. You have to stuff that fridge as well. You also have to make sure that there are employees to take care of his other stuff, like, say, his luggage, and make sure that people aren't freaking swarming him whenever he's in somewhere that's not immediately closed off. As you can imagine, that's a lot of money. So I would ask them, where do you think the money is coming from for that? Oh, that's going in from the admission fees that you're paying. If I could laugh, because I've already told myself several times, though, it's like the only thing that entrance fee is doing is, one, keeps out everyone in Orlando from coming in. Two, pays for the use of the convention center, because you can't just go, Orlando government, can I have the keys to the convention center? Because it's a place that's always in use. So they're paying the government that. And third of all, it also pays for the paychecks of the employees that are inside there. So the money that you get from there is definitely what's going to be paying for that. Also, the money serves another purpose. It also is that way, like for Jason Momoa, the prices there are going to be $170 for the photo op and $150 for the autograph. So for those who are doing both, $270. So from all that, it comes down to the fact that also with those prices, it helps keep the lines lower. Even when Jason Momoa only showed up for Sunday last year, even though those prices were, if I remember correctly, still about the same, it still took up the entire line even from there. If you want to imagine it even being lower, like say some of the actors who only have to pay like $20 or $30, it would have been freaking ginormous in length.
Yeah.
So for microtransactions, I think the same thing. Who is it that you're paying? Well, you got to pay an animator so that you can make sure that the character models are actually working correctly, and artists so that they can actually come up with the idea of what it looks like, as well as also a small staff of people who are making the skins. See, unlike a physical thing like, say, toys or statues and such, you can't send that to some sort of sweatshop in Asia for them to take care of that. You have to pay your actual employees for that, so therefore they're getting paid for that one. And keep in mind, the average fee for employees in the U.S. is $10,000 or its equivalent in other countries, for the most part.
So
from all of that, I would say...
Ranger, Colossus, Storm, or Interceptor.
I'm actually in the Storm. That's the one I personally pick.
I'm gonna go with the big boy, the Colossus.
The Colossus, I think, is good, but it's just that it's his playstyle that I'm not used to.
Yeah.
I often think that people are saying that he's a bad Javelin. He is not. It's just a matter of having to learn to play him because he doesn't function like the other Javelins. Like, instead of having a dodge, his main thing is the shield, so you have to know when to use that shield accordingly.
Should I go into Storm then, or Interceptor?
I'm going as the Storm, personally.
Interceptor, then. Actually,
Alright.
Ranger. Alright, so have you heard what's going on
Yeah, but I would say for the...
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Finish that. You can finish. Sorry.
But it's just mainly, yeah, that's why for the whole debacle, which I know is not going to really, is something that most people consistently don't care about. But when I see the bigger heads often complaining about the fact for stuff like that, it just gets me really irritated because it shows to me they did not do even the slightest thought, or it's just that they themselves are just wanting to not acknowledge it. Because again, the whole, you're paying actual employees for this, you're not sending this to some sweatshop to be built there.
Right.
And it's always funny because then when these things get attached to toys, they always end up doing so. Like, the most funny thing for me is always Jim Sterling for that example. He always rails on about how microtransactions are bad and whatnot, but yet when Activision did... yeah, when Skylanders did their thing, and still does their thing, where they just attach DLC to toys, or even what Nintendo was still doing with Amiibos, he was more than happy to endorse it, saying it was awesome because he was getting toys with it, even though Nintendo was paying damn near to actually make the toys. Sorry, that was my mic that cut off for a second. Because Nintendo, they're hardly paying anything for that. They're paying maybe a few dollars to actually get those things made in some Asian sweatshop somewhere. So Nintendo's hardly paying anything, and they're just giving you the illusion that you're getting something much more when you really didn't.
Right.
So it's always annoyed me with that, though, like, I honestly don't mind if these people just go, I don't personally care to buy skins and such. I don't mind. That's what Hello Greedo kind of has the same mindset of, where he's just like, you know, I don't really care for skins, though. It just doesn't seem worth money for me. I just go, I get it. That's fine. We all have different value propositions and such. But the insistence that these things are something that you shouldn't have to pay for, I take umbrage with, because, again, these people have the mindset of, if you can't touch it, it's not real. And it just really annoys me.
I know.
And even more so to add insult to...
I remember I used to be part of this mod team called Cascadia. Forgive me, I got it wrong. And I was talking with one of the members, and he mentioned microtransactions. The site actually pointed out, like, the games are getting really expensive, and they need to have the funding to compensate for that. And if I remember right,
and also to keep in mind, Anthem is getting free post-launch content, so no season pass or any of that. So where's the money for that coming from?
Right. So do you want to do a free play or one of the Stronghold?
Let's finish the Stronghold, because I did finish it, but I didn't get to finish it with you last time.
Oh, hey, my friend is on. I'll ask him if he want to.
So yeah, that's why I personally, and I said for me that what added even more insult to injury is that they want to rail against us as being greed, and meanwhile they're putting up clickbaity titles as well as thumbnails, and I go, but that's not about money. Like, those thumbnails and clickbait titles that you're using are totally not about money, because there is no way that you are ignorant enough of the fact that you know that once you do that, you're going to end up driving more traffic than if you just did a regular thumbnail and title.
Yeah.
So honestly, it comes across to me as being insanely hypocritical.
You ever heard what happened with one of the DLCs for Assassin's Creed Odyssey?
I actually didn't.
I think it was the second one. You know that in the main game you can choose a character's gender and who you romance and stuff. In the current original version of that DLC, your character will be forced into more of a straight romance and have a child. The achievement being growing up. You can imagine how that would go.
Oh yeah, that certainly wouldn't go well.
Right.
Oof. Yeah, public. Because as I said, people in here, they are helpful, though, for the most part.
I wonder if people are actually just as helpful as the ones in Fallout 76.
At the very least, for 76, even if I don't really play the game, though, I would say one of the strongest things was, in fact, its community, since they're always helping each other out and always trying to build what they can. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. Do you know...
and Anthem looks like it's having a very similar community to it. I mean, from what I can see, people do exactly what they have to do, assuming that they do know what to do.
Do you know what's... so I've been thinking, you know that Resident Evil 2 the remake and Kingdom Hearts 3 have released in the same time frame?
Yeah, I know they have. It's been all over for me.
Yeah, are you planning on getting either one of them or...
May get Resident Evil 2, not really
double
Kingdom Hearts 3, because I do not understand Kingdom Hearts 3 at all. Anytime I've tried to understand Kingdom Hearts, I just go, what the hell was I just playing?
Since when does Corvus care about scars?
Since they started making
I mean, I've never been confused by Metal Gear, but that to me just sort of makes me go, oh, so that's what it's like for people who say that Metal Gear is confusing.
Found the relic.
Scars have done something to it. It's gone volatile.
For those of us who don't
yeah, exactly. That's why I didn't know what the block was.
Obviously. Freelancer, you'll need to silence the relic.
Oh, hey, my internet is ready. Ninja! Yeah, so I planning. So what about
Resident Evil 2 I'm actually thinking of getting because I mean the only Resident Evil game I really played was only 5 and I had a lot of fun with it. So I would like to get 2 to at least try out one of the originals.
Energy levels are dropping. We're halfway there.
Going back to 2017, more of a horror games than anything. Yeah, it's still the gameplay aspect from 4 and 6, but it made it short. I played the demo, the one-shot demo of that game, and I was pretty nervous because I am not a fan of what my view looks like?
I haven't seen you yet. Where are you? Oh, there you are. I'll see your suit after we get the first finished.
Yeah, I think my source is like, pictures on the Marvel.
Keep looking for the glowing things.
Which one? Who's the Marvel?
Those.
Oh, Vision. I should definitely go check it out.
Yeah, once you're done with picking up, and then I'm using my old. Oh, holy shit! I use it. Filled up.
Buying what?
NetEase, that Chinese company. Buying,
Oh yeah. The only reason I knew of NetEase was only because of that Diablo Immortal was apparently something they were involved with.
Yeah, a lot of people really close to that. Should I
Silenced. Good work, freelancer.
Honestly, the reaction that Diablo Immortal got, it came to me though that's like, if Fallout Shelter was released without having Fallout 4, I would imagine that the reactions would have been similar.
Ah, crap. Hopefully, yeah. You know that, yeah, nope, so we don't want that
Yeah. I would say for Quantum Dreams, at least from the game lineups they have, I've not been impressed. So I would say though that I'm not really sure that is worth the money for it, but I kind of just go, hey, at least those devs are secured in jobs, so, at least it's not the worst it could be. Right. I don't know, it's just that, like, it's just that Quantum Dreams just comes across as the sort of thing that thinks that it has a lot of important stuff to say, and it just feels so wrong-headed.
Yeah, and everybody... Nope.
Again, it's just sort of, like, I don't mind, for the fact that it's wants to end up being something like big though. They want to tackle things like racism and stuff. Yeah, you know, all for it though. I really like stuff that delves into it though. Seeing if leaders take how they envision it though. But it just comes across to me as the sort of thing that where the creator clearly thinks that he's just so smart for doing so, especially because of the fact that racism is something that he doesn't really seem to understand much, if at all.
They got a better deal with the Steam.
Hey, it's at least good though that Epic Games seems to be doing well for itself. I mean, at least from what I see. But yeah, I don't like the fact that Valve did what they did. I felt to me personally that it's like, that really was not good behavior for them to do.
War stars, freelancer.
Shit. Alright. Okay, I got an item. And apparently, Belgium, Belgium, that they're going to move the loot box game.
Right. I mean, I'm only guessing that EA's new team did so because they thought they were going to win. So, from the fact that he didn't, I just, again, have no real feelings toward it. Just whatever, if that's what they want to do. But the idea that anyone's going to be going to jail for it, yeah, highly doubtful. I mean, again, it always just comes across to the fact that, as I always think when it comes to an addict on a list of the publishers, which is that whenever it comes to games, you will receive 100% of the blame, but 0% of the credit if it goes good. Like, I promise you that, if Respawn ends up doing like a stellar job with Fallen Order, it's like getting great reviews all across the board, sells like super well and whatnot. I can promise you that no one's gonna think that EA, publishing the damn game had nothing to do with the game actually even being made in the first place. And that it was just 100% Respawn.
So, anyway,
And Anthem, I could easily imagine it's gonna follow suit. It's going to get, for the most part, really good reviews. People praising the combat system, most likely its story from what we see as to how it actually is, among all that other good stuff. And then it's just going to be people saying, oh yeah, this was, look, all BioWare and EA had nothing to do with the game, though, even though that EA was the one funding and also taking care of all the publishing stuff.
I think
I would highly doubt it because, again, they already had EA4 in development, and even though that Andromeda hurt them, it was hardly the sort of thing that was going to put them out of business. They would need to go through at least another few big years.
The first aspect of
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, there's some pretty, there's some allegations.
I know he publicly addressed them by saying that he personally did not do so, but I honestly don't know if it was though, and honestly, that feels like something I really should be commenting on. Right.
And apparently, look, I'm not, and you know that there's going to be like a documentary of you or something about, racist guy. Okay,
who exactly again?
Yeah, okay, so there were like gonna be like a dramatization and documentary on Netflix.
Oh, the Ted Bundy Netflix special, right?
Yeah, and a dramatization with Zac Efron. Apparently, people are having odds for at least the dramatization portion. And it's like, what the fuck?
Well, I do think that the music in the trailer was a really stupid choice from it. I actually think that it was a smarter thing to actually go and emphasize as to how exactly Ted Bundy got his victims. I often dislike the fact that a lot of people very much don't like the fact that the series is actively saying, like, yes, this guy was super handsome and charismatic because he was handsome and charismatic. That's how he got his victims in the first place. And it feels to me very damaging when you start to basically try to treat as if any time that a serial killer is going to be, a serial killer, but it has to be because of the fact that they were displaying super obvious signs that their victims actually couldn't foresee though, because it was just more on the naive side. When, like, yeah, serial killers are very much oriented as well serial rapists though. He was definitely someone who knew what advantages he had and used them to his monstrous advantages.
People are just like attracted to his look. That was just like, dude, he's the monster. Well,
I do know that there's supposed to be some sort of
Thanos, in no particular order, Thanos, Venom, Pennywise, and here's a funny thing. You know that movie was accidentally categorized under LGBT films? Just like went over the world with it and tried to keep up with Pennywise.
I mean, I personally don't, for the most part, don't really judge what people find attractive though, because again, I'm more of a, hey, as long as what you do doesn't harm people, I would just say, then whatever, go nuts. But in the cases of when it's being attracted to people like who are outright serial killers, I just go, I honestly don't know what's up with you.
Oh god, we're gonna go in the water.
I always get lost when I'm in the group though, so I'm glad at least I have someone in my group who knows where they're going.
Yeah, we were so close the last time, and then I got to drop.
The only way forward is through an underwater passage ahead.
Like, sorry, you don't want to get that line in this place.
Wow. It's almost peaceful down here.
Scorpions can't swim, right? Don't worry, Sam. I will let them get you.
Oh, did you know who voiced the male version of the freelancer in this game? Ray Chase.
Yeah, I saw on Twitter though where he announced as to where exactly that he voiced him. I was like, oh wow, he actually was voicing him.
Alright. Okay, you're sparking. Take a look at me. Maybe Unit 1.
Oh. That's awesome.
How'd I do?
That's a lot of eggs.
You know what they say? You've got to crack a few eggs to make
Which character remind you that you get it for?
That omelet. What is that?
Oh.
The one
Careful for the
damn
It's
robot.
unstable.
So that everybody was...
Yeah.
I hate it when they do that. What do we do now?
Yeah, for the
I mean,
fragments
yeah, it
and
looks pretty
silence the
faithful
red.
at least though. At least from the sense it shows me, right?
People know about this live stream with H.Bomberguy and funding support for mermaids,
Oh yeah, I remember the live stream that H.Bomberguy was throwing. I mean, I'm like, hey, good thing that he was doing so, using his numbers for a good cause.
Heads up, scars incoming.
How'd they get down here?
Bastards love to borrow.
Go ahead, take each lawyer, even Alexandria Ocasio Cortez got in his thing. Which is really something else.
I mean, I appreciate that. I mean, I like senators who very much actively engage with people that they are servants of. I mean, again, the thing I want in my public service is always regular engagement with the communities that, and as well as states, though. Now, obviously, I'm not stupid. They're only one person. They can't possibly talk to everybody. But at the very least, if they can just go here and there to be able to regularly communicate with their, with the people that they're governing, it very much is good, though. I do very much prefer Cortez, Acacia Cortez, though. While I do think that he has still some maturing to do, he definitely comes across to me as one of the more promising candidates, though. At least from people that we've had.
So I think that she's going to be very original, mostly because, I don't know, she's got some things to
He's inexperienced, though. I'm sure that that'll go out in time. I mean, again, though, she is someone who only she's only someone who went to office for the first time, so even if they're inexperienced, I will call it out, but again, it goes to cut them across the line, though. Like, call it out, obviously. It's like, call it out, but...
That's a lot of enemies. That's a lot of enemies.
Oh, shit. I got the last box. I like the double dash, though, that the Storm gets. I kind of feel like the Storm will lead some nerfing because, yeah, of all the javelins, this one just seems to be the best of them.
And do you think
I mean, again, I understand that it's a beta, so they'll definitely do some nerfing of this. But I would say that that's kind of what I would hope, because currently it just sort of feels like the Storm is just a little too powerful as it stands. Haven't yet. I'm gonna probably, after we do this, we'll go engage in free play and I'll try it out.
Yeah.
I mean, the loadout I'm gonna be mainly using the Interceptor. That's the class I'm gonna be using the machine pistols with, since it feels the most appropriate to use for them.
Should.
Energy readings are stabilizing. A bit slowly. Just stay in the center, and the interference will cause the energy to spike again.
Oh, sorry, when they trying to destroy the extra troop check or whatever thing for the scars.
Yeah, so you were mentioning something I have to do this
only really I thought that was true that while I started using her Rodriguez, but she's an actress who I have been more noticed to. I remember when she still was doing the version, which they made like a high view version. I did watch the show, I just saw a lot of advertisements since I was watching TV at the time. And she's definitely shown from other movies like Annihilation to be a great actress. So I decided, okay, even though I've heard some more negative things on it, I'd give it a shot. And yeah, it was just, for me, just an overall bad movie. I don't personally have, like any bad movie, I don't really have any strong feelings for it. I have heard some of the parts that, it's called Big Mama. No, it's in theaters. It's one that came out, I think, this week, actually.
Okay,
mainly, the plot of it is mainly centered around a girl who turned into a beauty pageant, who ended up getting caught in the middle of a conflict between the drug cartels in Mexico, as well as also
Stay on the platform.
And so from that, and I listened to some critics who were saying that they like it because of the fact that most or even all, at least the ones that we're going to go by, what are just main cast members. I mean, it just sort of was just a, like, yeah, a good deal of were, but also a good deal of them were also the good guys. I mean, I always say, look, I get it, though. The last thing that you want to do is, because especially with the racial conflicts in the U.S. right now, is that the last thing you want to do is feed ammunition to racist assholes. I fully understand and agree with the sentiment. That being said, though, I very much think, though, that it would be dishonest to try to act like the drug cartels in Mexico are not really this big deal. In the U.S., sure, not in the U.S., but as far as Mexico itself, it is a very big deal. Where, in fact, even still, there's a drug war happening between the cartels and the Mexican government, even there. And unfortunately, it has taken a lot of lives on a lot of lives in that country. But I do think it's just that we're talking about events like these. It's just that with events like these, though, it's just a very complicated thing that's like, you have to have a very careful hand with how you are going to be approaching it. Because the fact that if you don't, and if you treat it in a more clumsy manner, then yeah, it ends up being something that's actually really bad, though. So I would say that's what I think was the problem. Is not really so much the subject matter itself, but how really it's handled.
Maybe we round up ammo, we can still build so. And you also watch Sneak in the Cyber. How many times now?
I actually watched, I actually even watched Spider-Verse after I saw Smala. That would be, today marks my 6th time I've seen it in theaters.
That's impressive. The most times I ever watched...
I don't think our friend like that. Too bad. I'm just getting started.
Yeah, that for me was my record of most watched movies, but also the difference though is because of the fact that back then I actually was paying for the movies that I was watching. These days I don't really do that because I have the AMC Stubs A-list, and because I live next to an AMC, I can see whatever movie that comes out and I don't really have to worry.
Stay that way.
So for me though, that's why I go to the movies so often. Not because of the fact that, like, say, I would consider, because I consider Spider-Verse and The Last Jedi equally great movies, but it's just the reason I've seen one more than the other, or even for that matter, even though I love Aquaman, I wouldn't say I like it as much as The Last Jedi, but I've seen it more times because I'm not paying for it, and I really love the movie.
So how's it going with the AMC?
So the way the AMC Plus A-list works is that for $23 a month, which is what will happen when it hits later on, where it was initially $21, but then they're bringing it up $2 more. And so what's happening is that for when you pay that every month, you get access to 3 movies a week that you can watch without paying the ticket for. You can walk right in and then just go reserve your movie and just walk right in. And that's for 3 movies a week, 12 movies a month.
So you just have to use the console.
Huh?
So you have to
basically, but I also get back lines with it. So if I'm in a rush to go to a movie and then I want to get to the beat sessions quicker, I have a line that's reserved specifically for me that I can just go to, so I can get there faster.
I heard an AMC discount. I wonder if there are Netflix watching. I'm not being connected to Netflix for some reason. I tried watching. I talked about trying out the new She-Ra movie, the new She-Ra cartoon series. It's good, but
right.
Throw down a flare. It'll help.
You need freelancers of tools for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I can understand why.
It's like, it's very noticeable and okay. Anyway, so I'm gonna say these words without much of it, like. Ready?
Oh, that's just
okay.
wrong.
Johnny Mayo.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you guys get out. Even though we're going out.
You're not helping.
I honestly just go, you know what? I'm just gonna I'll just let it go then, because I do not really think though. I just say things like that are just best left to not think about too hard.
Damn it. Next time, I expect big-ass bugs to be in the mission briefing. You have to show up for that to help.
Alright, I'll take care of the ads. Oh, did I just play Monster while I was injured? Okay. Oh yeah, you ever that they like struggling with their financial issues? So like especially financial.
Who is?
GameStop.
Oh yeah, I've heard all about it though. Apparently it seemed like they were trying to file for, I don't know if it was file for bankruptcy or trying to get bought out by a separate partner. but apparently that didn't exactly go too well, so no idea what's there. I mean, with GameStop, I have the stalker underscore the same as I do Blockbuster, because the fact that it was basically the gaming store I always went to.
Insane.
And also the employees there always treated me super well. I'm told that the managers were not very good, but at least the employees that I met on a day-to-day basis, they were always the best people that I could imagine to buy from. I honestly bought my Xbox. I bought it on I just bought it off eBay that someone has to use because I was out of it after I had bought the job prior to my 2 years high school finishing. And so I was like, oh yeah, I want to make sure I can get that as well as also support it. So what yeah, I'm on the East Coast.
I know you live on the East Coast. Oh shit! Oh shit!
Yeah, we already blew up all of them already.
Okay, can I say I wasn't expecting that?
I think it's also the reason we're performing better is because people actually know what to do in that stronghold. Because when I was first doing it, I was totally lost and not sure what to do outside the first phase. So now that it seems that me and everyone else is like, oh, okay, so that's how you play it, now we can just get through it real easy, even on the harder difficulties. Yeah.
I just want to be safe. Hey, I always see you Sparkling. Are you doing Sparkling? Like,
Sparkling?
Yeah, your character's kind of Sparkling.
I actually keep forgetting that I don't have that fire explosion thing and it's electricity instead.
Oh!
That was too close. I barely dodged it.
No, I just like ow! 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 Alright. First time I died in this raid. Oh, whoops. There we go. Alright. Oh, thank you, thank you. And, I wasted my ultimate for nothing!
It seems that Interceptors seem to have the best melee system of all of them. Yeah, because I always see that they can just do melee many times over, whereas the other ones can only melee really once.
It's great for taking on half.
It's great for taking on what?
I think they're great for taking on half, like you see here.
Right.
So this might be a bit of a weird question, but how do you think something like mechanical
I mean, honestly, I even noticed how Mass Effect Andromeda definitely taking some influence from it. So I do think that some of the gameplay mechanics here will definitely be ported over. I mean, this is what exactly it would be, I wouldn't guess, but I could imagine things like how the gunplay is in this game, because I would say out of all of BioWare's games, I think that this has been so far they're best refined for gunplay. Like, it feels really smooth and solid, and even when I'm flying all around, it always feels like something that feels like I'm always in control. Maybe even with Andromeda, which I feel like in some ways that they ended up evolving their previous combat system, it still always felt like there was some restrictions that I could do. This one, it feels like there's not a single thing I couldn't do.
Yeah, I really want to do like a melee section, like a melee side. Or melee fight.
In this, yeah. I remember that's what Mass Effect was Andromeda wanted to do, but it didn't really work out. Like, say, whether it was the Broken Hammer or the Asari Sword or whatever, and it never really seemed to make a difference because you never found yourself wanting to use it anyway, because your guns were always better. But okay, well that's sort of supposed to be the point, but it never felt like, huh? Yeah, because it would also disrupt. There was never a situation where melee never felt natural. It always would feel like the world would just kind of just stop in the middle of what you were doing for that melee.
Yeah, the answer is the only one where the melee doesn't get charged.
So yeah, but the melee in this game it does feel very natural when I do it.
Okay,
it always just feels like it's just, yeah, no, where hell, go and revive me. Bug actually can manage to go away. Okay, oh, no, never mind, someone else got you.
Okay, that hurt. Is it even working? Oh, God damn. Yeah, do you sort of remind me of like a melee
Even the way it dies is unnerving.
I wonder how many beers it'll take me to forget that thing. I'm gonna go with 8.
One for each of the tyrant's legs.
No more scorpion talk, please.
That guy sounds
Yeah, it sounds just like him, actually. It could very well be him.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, the last time when I played this, like yesterday with the free play, the server kind of crashed and I was back in the fort.
Right.
I mean, we did this with 2 interceptors and 2 swarms. I got the executioner. You got the soldier. What soldier?
What soldier? I have no idea, honestly.
Looks like I got the most. Oh, someone else got the most medals, and I am max level for the demo.
I mean, it says here that I do as well.
I'll take it. I'll take everything. That was a fun one. So let's take a look at our gear and see what we can do with them. Hey, do you have Soul Calibur 6, by the way?
I don't, unfortunately, though. Mainly, Anthem is the last game that I'm gonna really be buying because I'm saving a lot of money for when MegaCon 2018 comes around. Mainly because of Jason Momoa is coming, because I'm gonna be getting an autograph and a picture from him, as well as also the entire Back to the Future cast is gonna be there for an entire group photo shoot, and I want to make sure that I can get that.
All right. Yeah, my brother. Yeah, like I said, my brother has actually met Jason Momoa. Yeah, I think he gave him a pine.
When did he meet him exactly?
At one of the Comic Cons, like, yeah, there was like a couple, like the so like Comic Con. Yeah, my brother and I live in Utah. State of the Mormons, or the Mormon State, or the Deseret Mormon, Deseret State, or whatever. Yeah, I can finally spring.
Wait, so. No, I'm saying your brother met him how exactly? Like through an event?
I think so. I don't know the details, so I'll have to ask him.
Alright.
Lucky Jack's been a busy one.
Man, that Stronghold was fun. Alright, let's see. Ooh. Strike system. Yeah, I will equip that strike system. Hell yeah.
But in other movie news as well, though, because of the fact I kept going to the theaters a lot, I did eventually, well, at this point, seen several times the trailer for the newest Godzilla movie that's coming out.
Oh,
I didn't see the first one, though, because I remember most people saying that it was people just saying it was okay.
Oh, it was
but then,
beautiful. It was beautiful.
The trailer, yeah, it was freaking gorgeous to see. I especially imagine that James Rolfe, AVGN, though, because of how big of a fan he was, I imagine that he just freaking jaw dropped when he saw how Ghidorah looked in more modern CGI.
Yeah, especially, yeah. My jaw, like, dropped. Fucking gorgeous, don't you think?
Yes, I also thought the same. Very gorgeous looking film, so I'm certainly going to go see it, though, when it comes out.
Oh, and there's Brightburn. You've seen Brightburn, because whoop, someone too was pointing out that Brightburn can be compared to Irredeemable, that comic where a character who's totally not Superman snaps and basically wrecks the world. Right, nail thick, boy. You know it.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah, I did notice in the new movies that Godzilla seems way larger than he has been in any other incarnation that I have seen.
Except for the Shin Godzilla version.
I mean, maybe that one. I mean, goes to the normal ones. He seems more taller, but not necessarily big as in size, though. Like, you know, meaning like body shape, though.
Yeah.
But in this one, yeah,
thick.
he just seems like...
Yeah,
I
can't believe I ever actually said that for Godzilla. Extra thick. Holy shit.
Well, he certainly is thicker than the other previous versions. So I feel it's up, though.
Sorry, that was actually pretty funny.
I would say...
That's actually pretty funny of me to say that. I'm sorry, it's just... Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, I got vision out. Okay, vision. Yup, vision. Focus seal. Okay, components. Yeah, I'm gonna give, okay, there we go. Gonna give, my, Storm more armor. Shields, I can easily get shields back. Have you named your, javelins yet?
Now here's where it gets fun. Time to make a statement.
I haven't actually named them yet. I admit I'm pretty boring, so I don't really name loadouts outside of what their function is. Like, I may say, like, okay, this is my hit and run loadout, this is my more assault heavy loadout, but I don't typically name them, though, because, again, I admittedly am not all that creative.
Not that, not very creative visual-wise either, so I get you. Oh god, I even made him look pretty close to Vision. Holy crap! All right, starting up. Starting up an expedition of free play. I'm so glad I got the items out of it. Okay, select. Do you want to do free play and hard?
Sure, I'll do that.
Yeah. Alright. Waiting on you. Okay, gonna equip my consumables, and I'll be waiting on you. Alright. Yeah, and Brightburn, controversy with the chain skeleton aside, everybody has talked about it to death. That trailer was pretty damn unsettling. I actually
the Brightburn trailer.
Yeah, I actually talked about it with a couple of friends of mine on Twitter and stuff. Here's a bit of a fun fact. Zack Snyder and James Gunn are friends, if I remember right.
That would make sense, because from everything I've seen on Zack Snyder, people who have worked with him regarded him as a really good guy. I mean, yes, even if his sensibilities can certainly be, I mean, for lack of a better word, weird,
yeah.
But in general, he's consistently shown that he's a good guy.
I wouldn't mind being around it, but I'll just be like rolling my eyes at some of the things they did. It's like, so how do I launch? Okay, there you go.
Yeah, that's why it doesn't really surprise me, because Zack Snyder's actually friends with a lot of big-name directors. It's just the fact that he's just not someone who, really is just, again, just has more weirder sensibilities.
I heard about the controversy with the Justice League, and he came out all right. That's kind of surprising with him.
I haven't seen Justice League yet, so for me, I'm just kind of reserving judgment on it, but yeah, I'm willing to bet that when I see it, I'm going to have more of an attitude of,
Yeah, it's not very... I heard it's not very good. Oh, like, you know that Joss Whedon has worked on the reshoots, right?
I know it was mainly Joss Whedon who worked on the reshoots, because Zack Snyder's... I think it was one of his adopted kids committed suicide, so... I mean...
Yeah,
oh, shit, it kicked me out.
My heart goes out to him. It really is a hard thing to lose a family. A member of a family.
Yeah, for him to his daughter commit suicide. So I'm like, hey, if he had to leave the project because he needed that morning, I kind of just go, I just go, yeah, man, just do that for that. I mean, you can't just, that's not the sort of thing you just go, oh yeah, after a day, all's good. It's like, that takes time. So I very much do so. And ever since his daughter's suicide, he's been involved in more organizations to try to do so. I know Jason Momoa ended up posting about shirts that he was selling, so that way it would fund things like the suicide hotline and such, though, so that it could try to lower that.
Where are you?
I was kicked out of the game.
Oh shit! Let me see if I can.
Yeah, unfortunately, bugs are still in here. At the very least, the bugs are far less prevalent, because outside of only really this. Oh, it seems I can still join your expedition. Yeah, I can rejoin your expedition.
Awesome.
So that's what I would say for it, is that outside of that, though, so I just think that it's that hope he's doing well. Although Zack Snyder is still being an executive producer for DCU films, he's just no longer the director's chair.
Yeah. Looking forward to Shazam, though. Shazam looks really fun.
After seeing James Wan's handling of Aquaman, I definitely would say I'm very much excited to see how Shazam turns out as well. I mean, there's just no other way around it. It's just that so far for Aquaman, I just really love it. It's just really everything I could have really wanted an Aquaman movie to be.
Yeah, cheesy.
It's basically, as like Allison Tabitha described it, the perfect blend of cheesiness and epicness. Yeah. I think the ending basically just perfectly encapsulates that.
Hey, are you loading in? It looks like you're loading in.
Yeah, I'm loading in now.
So
yeah, it's just everything I could have wanted to do, though. It had great direction by James Wan. The soundtrack by, I think it was Rupert Gregson-Williams. Just utterly phenomenal. I just honestly cannot stop listening to it. I even have some of the tracks on my phone.
How do I look?
Yeah, as I said, I based the parts that I could build off of the carbon fiber skin from Genji, since I just like that very aesthetic.
And how do you think I did with as a?
But the more copper, or I would say, the non-black parts, I wasn't sure how to actually touch those, so I just left those as is.
And how do I look as Vision?
Oh, Vision, it definitely looks amazing.
Thanks, I worked hard on it.
Definitely looks as accurate as you can be with it.
Yeah, might need to change up a few details, but otherwise, yeah.
And I have to say, exploration for this game has actually been something, though, that I, surprisingly, just really enjoy doing. In a lot of games that often talk about having exploration, I never personally cared to do so unless there was something that I was doing alongside it, like a quest or a mission or whatever, where if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't. I can easily see from the game, this is something where I will definitely be doing free play as I can. Not to mention, you can occasionally come across other missions, like just before I went to the movies, I even was doing 2 extra missions where I was helping out other freelancers, fighting out against either scars or other enemies. Also, Hunter World, definitely I can see the inspiration from that. And I think it was good, though, that they did so. I mean, definitely when it comes to the tweakers here, that comes across with. And I definitely, even if I'm not personally a fan of Destiny, I would hardly say that I think the game just didn't have merit. I just don't think that how it was just to my taste. Yeah. But with how Bungie managed to do this, I managed to really connect with it.
Yeah, one of my friends who's actually playing the VR version of it, said that he's happy that he can get on the door of this game, where I'm like, Destiny 1, you have to go on the separate website to look at things.
Yeah, so that's where I just kind of have more of the attitude of just, hey, you know, at least for Destiny, I personally didn't like it, but it's super cool if you do.
I kind of do with the rather that game, just have power and stuff.
I mean, honestly, it's just an attitude I wish that more people would actually just take with their freaking opinions though with it.
I had this argue with someone was like Ninja.
I mean, it's in the same vein as to why at no point will I ever believe in so-called objectively good or bad movies, because the only reason I'd want to believe that is just so that my opinions feel validated or extra validated. For me, like, again, like when I go back to saying, like, yes, I fucking Aquaman, I don't have to justify anyone as to why I love it. I love it, and that's, you can hear my reasoning, and you can decide whether you think it's satisfactory, but I go, quite frankly, I don't. Way that you don't have to give a shit if your reasons for why you love a movie don't satisfy
Can't
me.
look while that relic's active.
Then let's hunt echoes. Those nodes are dangerous. Destroy them or stay out of the way. There we are. An echo. That's it. Keep it up.
Where are you? I actually lost. I actually got lost fighting a bunch of enemies.
You can look it up on the map. Could be pretty easy.
And another.
Yeah, Connor, where'd you go? I actually lost track of where you went.
That's that. Keep going. Okay, that looks like it was silence. That's cause for celebration. That opened up something.
Get over here now. Oh, there. I'll put. Look at the map. Look at the map. You're like way like northwest. I'm like. Do you see like the wall down southeast? Go over there, and quickly too. I'm gonna check it out. Hey, should I also go around as Doctor Strange in this game? Weird question. Or maybe Iron Man as a Ranger?
is a strange signal. It's not too far off from your position.
Titan! I see you, Titan.
That's Witten.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is
Titan,
bad.
Titan. I kind of need your help right now. Can you hear me? Okay. Give me a second. Whoa, shit.
Yeah, just like abruptly, my connection to you is just like it just cut, so I have no idea what happened there. I'm not even in your same game, I'm still doing that.
You took out a Titan. I can't wait to
I'm still in the map that you were in, yeah.
Holy crap! I killed a Titan on my own. Less a Titan granted, but bam! I killed a Titan species on my own. How cool is that? Alright, do you need any help?
Honestly, I could actually use that.
Yeah, as soon as I can.
Dealing with a lot of scars.
Yeah. You ever played Resident Evil 7, by the way? Since you mentioned playing Resident Evil 5?
Yeah, it was one that I played with my cousin a lot, though, because it was a game that he owned, and we would always just love the cooperative play that we could do.
Yeah, I was talking about Resident Evil 7 because it's more single player with linear. Alright, you're like northeast of me. I'll get there as soon as I can. Northwest. So I heard these rabbits or rabbit things, whatever they are. I've heard they're
Grabbits.
Grabbits, yeah, grabbits. Thank you. Should I shoot them because they're they might be I'm gonna look at for some news and stuff. Game Warner.
Oh, I see someone else who's there though.
Okay, I kept the mixed up too, and where are you?
I'm still on the same map though, but nowhere else.
Okay, have you played some
Yeah, I'm at the wall where you would spawn. At least I think I am, though, because I got killed and I spawned at what seemed like somewhere that would be a normal spawn point.
Whoa, what was that? Dark. What's the fireball for you guys? Oh yeah, I can fast jump. Okay, where can I fast travel? Ow, stop shooting me. Ow, ow, ow. Huh? Doing alright, Duran? Shadowhawk.
Yeah, sorry, I'm in the same map though that we were in last time. It's just that I think we may be on maybe the same map but a different server.
No, I can see
I don't know if
you.
that's how it works in Anthem.
No, I can see you.
Oh, can you where?
You're
Where are you?
Alright, backtracking and going east.
Go east though, you said?
No, I'm backtracking. Okay, into your location.
Okay.
Alright, let's to your location. Alright, I can see you. Really gonna have yeah, get for Spider-Man game. It looks really good.
I really want to try it. It's just the fact that I can't afford to get one though.
I know, right? So the antagonist of the game is called the Monitor. I think that's what the antagonist is called.
Yeah.
The antagonist, and I could have think the
Kind of what it would be that if you have a teammate, if there's someone that you're in a group with, that you can still see where they are regardless of the map. Because the fact that you were on this map, but I had no idea where you were.
Okay, that was weird. That was weird.
The public is in the invitation. I mean, they've got most of the bugs that wouldn't matter already ironed out. And even if there are some issues at launch, it doesn't seem like it'd be bad enough where people just will stop playing.
All 76. I told what that Fallout 76.
Yeah, that was a rough launch. But I would say for this one, I'm very certain that this will end up having a very strong launch for the most part. I mean, again, the VIP demo basically got rid of, we saw most of the flaws there. And it seems that for the most part, a lot of the main bugs from there don't seem to really be here, though. At least from what I can experience. And also, worst case though, the EA Early Access can also iron out even more of them. I honestly never understood why exactly people are so up in arms with the fact that an EA Access thing, even though they've been doing this for their games for years. And honestly, I don't see why that's an issue. Someone's paying a membership to have access to your games, giving them something a little extra, like, hey, the game already went gold and was basically done, so why don't we just let you play at least some of it for the full release? Just seems like a very puzzling thing to do. I mean, again, I know that very much that it's just being more pettiness against EA, though. But even still, it's just a big,
It's just a company. It's not like they're ISIS.
What do you say, Nord?
It sounds like they're. It's not like EA.
Yeah, but again, for gamers though, it's just a thing where EA sort of just is the default thing. Where, as I always say, when often there's a person that a lot of people dislike, which is where you're willing to dislike them even for the most petty of reasons. And treat them like they're these big things, even though you would not have cared if it was someone you had met.
Ultimate ability game. Thank you very much.
And again, I don't try to act like EA is like another sort of company. Of course, though, they themselves have been guilty of having, in some of their studios, labor malpractices, because again, hiring bad managers and obviously doing bad stuff. Then, when it was the earlier areas, yeah, EA was very much guilty for a lot of that. It was basically something a lot of developers didn't want to work at unless you were desperate for a job. But at least from how much they turned around since before, they see most of the fact that even though sure they still have major problems to deal with, it at least seems like though that compared to most other companies, they seem to at least treat their workers well. I mean, again, we could still obviously go further in having better management, also try to reduce how much crunch is in at studios. I mean, again, outside the issues. But I do believe that just a lot of the issues people do bring up specifically in regards to microtransactions, I just typically find bogus because again though, I just think though that the bias comes more so, or the hatred of it comes from the fact that it's digital and in these people's minds doesn't cost anything to make, which couldn't be farther from the truth. If labor's involved, it costs a lot of money because regardless of what your company is, the biggest cost will always be the labor you have. And that means whatever you devote labor to is going to cost a lot of money. And also because people think that just because you're a multi-billion-dollar company, that doesn't mean that you can just afford to take anything. I mean, yes, I always want to...
You saw that on console?
I mean, no, it just is an attitude that I very much see because the fact that when it comes to physical items, though, that are not super in length, like say, I always compare to Funko Pops or even what my cousin does, he personally buys toy cars for no other reason than just he likes having Hot Wheel cars. And I just think for the fact that how most people would not really judge him for that, just go, you know, it's not something I would do with my money, but if that's good for you. But yeah, apparently when I do more or less the same attitude, that instead of toy cars, it's just digital skins in the game, all of a sudden that's the bad thing that I think that is me being taken advantage of, and it's like, I actually like it. Again, it comes from the fact that to a lot of people, they don't see things made digitally as somehow being worth the money, because in their mind, if something doesn't have a physical element to it, it's not worth cost. Because again, they always take out the labor cost from it. In their minds, like say when you look at something that's made out of some really expensive material, like again, like whether it's canvas or Cordura or some other very highly priced material, they only think about, oh, well, that's the material being used, therefore that justifies the cost. But in their talking of it, the labor never comes up.
Okay, did I just like... Did that make you use my ultimate?
Because again, you can find this dissonance found most best when it comes to Nintendo and even Activision with Skylanders and DLCs and toys, not really much any outlay.
Have you ever heard of Disney Infinity? Or like those games? You know, with Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars figures?
Another what-based game?
With Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars.
Nord, another what-based game?
Toy-based. Sorry. I don't know why. Can you hear me well?
Yeah, it seems like you're like breaking up at certain points. I think it's my mic rather than anything. Were you saying you want another Marvel or Star Wars game? I couldn't quite understand.
Toy-based game was toy-based years from Disney, mostly Disney stuff, Marvel.
I honestly was surprised that Kingdom Hearts didn't actually include those two things, though.
I know.
Even though
I was actually surprised. And you know who
but I guess because maybe
like bigger boss in Kingdom Hearts 3, like besides Sephiroth.
I mean, considering that the whole entire shtick with Kingdom Hearts is that basically it involves Disney properties, the only what reason I would imagine it not being in is either A, the licensing would have been a nightmare, or B, it's just the fact that the devs making it felt like it would have felt out of place. But that to me kind of makes no sense because they had no issue having the characters from Big Hero 6 be in it, and so far all they've had is one group.
Toy Story, Toy Story,
and in my opinion, it wasn't even all that good a movie either. It was actually, for me, for as far as Pixar goes, one of their lesser compelling movies, in my opinion.
Right. Why didn't I hear that from you? Okay. So it has like Pingo, Frozen, and of course, Hercules. Because most of the Kingdom Hearts games have Hercules. I don't know which is more confusing, but the Metal Gear series or Kingdom Hearts, or more country. What? My ass. Okay, but I'm gonna take a look. Oh, okay, now I'm going to take a deep breath. I'm so glad the we could do it again hard. Enemies, and they're I'm going to back into them because oh. Here's the play. Okay, I got it. Element push. Okay, Storm. You got an enemy Storm over here. What's the thing about Marvel 3 by the way? Hello? Can you hear me? Shadowhawk, can you hear me? Wait a bit. This is weird. Hello? Did I? No, I didn't. Hold on a sec, guys. There we go. Sorry.
I don't know what's up with these connections, though, that the party's having. We never had this before.
Hopefully it's just a one-time thing. I think because I'm doing it at the same time. So yeah, what's your favorite Marvel episode?
Still deciding that because the fact I have watched all of them, but I'm still very much trying to decide that. I know Captain America Civil War is very high up there. Civil War and Winter Soldier. Both Guardians movies, they are definitely in our top tier, as well as Black Panther. It's just, I don't know, it's just really hard to pick because I very much like most of them.
You know the writer of American Psycho? He's used to doubt this Black Panther enough when they are. They were funny kids because of their version. Oh God, we got another.
I've honestly always disliked that sentiment where a lot of people trying to snub it, trying to say like, well, it got a nomination though. When I'm like, yeah, because one, it was a great movie, and two, because the fact that what it did culturally, there is no other movie that did anywhere close to what it did culturally. I mean, charity drives were being made just so that people can go see it. I mean, yes, even though Captain Marvel was doing the same thing, it still hasn't got anywhere near to what Black Panther did. The fact that for the first time, even if not necessarily the first time though, still the first modern instance of an all-black cast being done in something that wasn't a comedy. Because so far, yes, you can find movies with all-black cast in them, but they were always done in the guise of, oh my god, look at how funny black people are. Like, this one is something that was playing a more honest-to-God, truer, serious take on it.
And God help us if Cinema Sins decides to do a take on it. Oh my god.
I mean, again, it's why I very much stopped, though. I used to very much go into that, oh, well, you know, it's funny, so therefore it's more acceptable, but as time went on, I went, yeah, I don't like those videos anymore at all.
And
like even recently when I tried watching, when I very much went into, when I even recently watched his Girl with the Dragon Tattoo video just to see, like, if my opinion changed. It was the first video I saw of him in like several months, and then I just where he complained that the people in Sweden were speaking way too good of English, and I'm like, you do know Swedish people can speak fluent English, right? As well as anyone in Europe. Yes, even if that they have their dominant language though in their respective countries, they can speak to any of you in fluent English. If I flew into Germany right now and were to speak to someone on the street in English, they could respond to me perfectly, and there is not a single word I would misunderstand.
Yeah.
The worst you may have is that you can encounter some who have a bit of an accent to them or some with stronger accents, but in general, Swedish people can talk to you as if English was their first language. It was The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, the David Fincher version. Which I actually really love that movie though. And it was even though I did see the girl in the Spider's Web, which I thought was okay though for it, I kind of wish though that it was David Fincher behind the wheel again. But I would say the David Fincher one, which was great, but yeah, it was that plot point that just made me go, wow, you really do not know anything.
About like how
Yes, exactly, because it's like, again, when it comes to Europe, you can see that, like, for Code Lyoko Evolution, for instance, it was the live-action 5th season of Code Lyoko, and the actors who were there, even though they're French speakers, when I went and saw that two of them did podcasts together, or more live streams, and yet they were able to speak in completely fluent English. And I'm like, at first, because I was in my sophomore year of high school, I'm like, oh wow, they can speak fluent English. And then I saw, oh no, that's actually not too special. Everyone in Europe can do that. In the case of French people, it's more of a pride thing to speak French rather than English. But in general, everyone in Europe will speak French.
They can make you pretty well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could see from that though. I mean, honestly, it comes less of being arrogant, and again, it's just more of just a pride thing. They just don't want to really speak it though, because they just want to stick to their regular language, which, you know, I respect though. I mean, I see a lot of Spanish people who kind of prefer the same thing with their languages.
How are things going in your state, right? My state is going through a couple things with goals, like with the Medicaid extension.
So far, my area is going pretty good. I mean, at Universal, they've now upgraded the minimum wage from $10 to $12, starting tomorrow, actually. So it's actually really good that they'll be doing that.
Yeah. What kind of prefer for minimum wage?
I very much think it's a good wage to have, though. I mean, again, the people who are being discussed on this most, because again, I used to be one of those that's like, they shouldn't have to increase the $50 wages, though, when I was in my more conservative mindset, saying like, oh, it's something that you have to, that you're just not seeking for jobs. No, it's because for a lot of people, regardless of passion or skill, it can be the only job you have access to. So I very much think a living wage, though, which is definitely also Because the fact that the people who are talking about it most, they're not talking about, especially to more on the left-wing side, they're not talking about your mom and pop shop that just started up. The people who they're talking about living wages for the most part are the multi-billion-dollar conglomerates who can easily be able to afford it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's kicking me out too.
Yeah. Yeah, so...
But I'm saying it's those people, like your conglomerates, your McDonald's, your Universals, the Disneys, etc. Because it's like you guys can absolutely.
Anyway, speaking of
or like when people were bitching about Alexandra Ocasio, I always cannot pronounce her full name.
I know,
Ortez's, where she did her marginal tax rate, and people were conflating that with a flat tax when a marginal tax is
I was like,
after you make 10
million. To like anyone making 10 million more.
Yeah, it's anyone who makes over 10 million because these people
were... I'm a little worried that people will try to find loopholes in that. Yeah.
I could imagine so, but honestly, considering the sort of mindset she has, I'm pretty sure she would try to make sure that she could at least close as much as she could. And if anything, problems come up, nothing says you can't change it more.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I would say for it, because people, I know, conflating the marginal tax with a straight-up flat tax when that's not how it works.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just comes to that same thing, though, and I would say for $15, which is something that they could easily afford.
The 70% tax for really rich people, that's actually happened in history. I believe during the 60s and 70s, if I...
Lucky Jack's been a busy one. Shipper relics are playing havoc.
What happened?
If memory serves me right, the tax rate for anyone making 10 million or more is about
is where your income starts to be taken from 70% after that point. That's what a marginal tax rate is, which is that after a certain level of income, then it just starts to get taxed more from there. Whereas a flat tax would be when it takes a certain percentage completely, though. Like, say, if you make $10 million, you're only going to see $3 million after taxes. And besides, also living wages need to be made because extra hours can actually only be good to a point. Something I learned recently when being at the Universal staff, which is that actually you don't want to work over 60 hours a week, because at that point you actually start losing money because you get put in a different tax bracket and the government actually extracts more from that. So you could be making $1,000 from your 100-hour shifts and you'll maybe see $450.
Holy shit, really?
Yeah, because I was told from the employees there that when you actually start to work above a certain amount of hours, which I'm told is supposed to be when you go over 60 hours, you actually start losing money because the government takes more out of taxes there. So working extra hours may not even be a good thing, because you can very much find yourself that what you're getting taxed more of is actually the taxes you're taking out more than you're actually bringing in. You're working more hours for less, basically.
Holy shit.
So again, that's also why I think wages should also be increased as well. Yeah. And also, I would say and also in regards, though, to, because again, when it was a mindset I used to have, which was in regards to the idea of taxing the rich more and saying that that's penalizing success. I would say I used to believe that when I was more of a teenager, but as I grew older, and especially having my own money, I would say if I was personally a multimillionaire, or especially a multi-billionaire, no way am I going to be crying over the fact that I got taxed $50 million more, even though I'm a multi-billionaire, and basically whatever tax I get taxed more of, I could easily see back.
Yeah.
Like, again, though, when it comes to the prospect of universal healthcare, which I would say, yes, again, before I actually got out of high school and when I actually was under a healthcare plan, I thought to myself yeah, totally, though, like, just let more pharmaceutical and healthcare services, just let the market decide, and then things would get pricier, because I used to be a believer in trickle-down economics at the time, until I grew up and then experienced that stuff firsthand and go, yeah, no, that's actually not how it works.
So I'm a little, though some people actually have some legit concerns about the, about, the debt and stuff. So I haven't put much thought to it, unfortunately. It's a great idea. yeah, just like I just really hope that we can find a way to fund it properly. Though it would, yes.
Yes, a proper way of funding it though. Which again, though, that's why I would say, because in regards to universal health care, and also because of the fact that my mom basically was with a really bad person who she had to be married to in order to have his health insurance, which was needed because the fact that if she didn't, well, she would be dead right now. And and in exchange for that, it was with a really bad person though. So
yeah,
especially from that, I would go, let me try to not have anyone experience that. Yeah, it's fine though. I don't have any traumatic experiences from it. I mean, it was really bad, but I was never personally abused. It was rather he abused my mother. And so basically from there, we both already moved on from it though. So I would say it's not something that weighs on our mental health, but it's just something that's like, I would rather in the future not have anyone ever experience that again.
Yeah.
Because it was definitely a really tough way to deal.
So people might state...
whereas if my mom had more of universal health care, I can promise you we would not have been in that predicament.
Yeah. That's a very good point. That's a very good point. And I would also have health care myself. Yeah, I kind of got screwed over because I made too much money for my disability benefits. Either that or I haven't used my healthcare that much. I don't know why. I don't know exactly why. Anyway, so my state in the midterm election have voted to expand Medicaid, and Republicans in my side was like, oh no, people are gonna have a lot of healthcare. What are we gonna do? And I tried to try to rewrite the.
When it's like, but you're gonna be experiencing those same benefits everyone else is. It's not like you're the payer and you're seeing none of it. Like, you're paying mine and I'm paying yours, so it sort of goes both ways.
It's like, too many of them are like,
and especially taught me, I mean, especially because of how helpful it was, because when I worked at my first job that I came back to when high school was over and I was waiting until so I just had some work to do and get money, is that even though I was in a good situation because I had family that I could stay with while I was making money, in the days that that I had to actually not go to work because I was actually sick, it was great that I had health insurance because of the fact that over-the-counter medicine was just not covering it. So I had to have antibiotics in the form of pills. So, and after I had those, put me just right as rain.
Yeah.
But if I didn't have that health insurance, I actually would not have even had access to them.
Yeah. And
so yeah, it's actually a big deal to have.
Because I don't have insurance, having to get a vaccine will cost me around $30. Hey, do you want to do free play or another stronghold?
I'll do one last stronghold, and I think I'll kind of be done for the day though, because I'm feeling like just being on YouTube and movies for the day. I can't wait till the full game goes out because man, I know I'm gonna have a hell of a great time with the strongholds.
I'm actually curious on how you would customize your character outside your javelin.
Very much thinking of how to do this though, because customization is definitely one of the biggest shoutouts I love with this.
Yeah.
Literally, you can always, there is never a person where you're gonna feel like, oh, we have the same javelin. There's always many ways, big and small, that you'll feel like your javelin is different.
Yeah.
And I really love that about it.
Yeah, I was more curious about your pilot, the freelancer.
I had it as a male for this one, but I actually think I'm switching to a female for the next one when the full game is out.
Yeah, I might stick with male because Ray Chase, who voiced Noctis in Final Fantasy 15.
I am wondering who the female voice, who did the female voice though.
I'm curious myself.
I haven't heard it yet because the fact that I played a male one and I haven't looked at what the female voice sounds like. And so far, I have yet to see on Twitter the female voice actress split out, like, again, like
I forgot her name, but
did.
she announced it. I forgot her name, and the name eludes me. Alright.
Oh, okay.
Two thick boys here.
Patching in our contacts.
Yeah, I always say with the Colossus, it requires a much different play style. Like, I would definitely say, definitely takes some getting used to, but if you can get used to the different play style, the Colossus could be an absolute blast to have on your team.
Caravans. That's a good reason.
Yeah, that
This
too.
is where they're making the acid. Any idea how?
I mean, they are like the epitome of a heavy hitter, so it comes to make sure that you know how to use it correctly.
Stars have done something to it.
I mean, again, I often find that's the biggest problem when people complain about people being under or overpowered. It's, or especially in the underpowered sense, it's more of people who don't actually know how to play them. Like a memory that often pops up, and admittedly, I was guilty of the same sentiment, where in Battlefront 2015, and even Battlefront 2 for that matter, where I said like, oh my god, Palpatine sucks, the other villains are better, and then when I actually learned how to use the other ones, I went, oh wow, they're actually really good. I just have to know how to use them.
Oh shit, I'm down.
Oh, shit.
I know, I was being dumb.
No, I was actually flying around trying to capture more of the echo things, and so I got myself down as well. Well, not down, but I got myself severely down in health.
We should clear the area first. I knew I should have gone with the ranger.
No, you're fine though. Again, it just comes down to you're just gonna have to get used to it. Practice makes perfect.
Really, I always wonder how
So, like for example, as a Colossus, you will not have a dodge ability. Your dodge is replaced with your shield, so you have to know how to use that accordingly.
So time.
Yeah, make sure you just time when you pop that shield up. So, like, for me, how I've been collecting the echoes has mainly just been, just through a simple, just running around and occasionally evading, so I can make sure to grab all of the echoes. So for me, I would say when you're doing so, I can dodge every so often to make sure that I like that. But I would say as a Colossus, you just have to make sure that you're blocking.
I'm kind of dying over there. And I died again. Shit. Yeah. Oh boy. Okay, so free play has some server issues, but not Stronghold from what I understand. Alright, looking over some news.
Really love the fact that with the Storm as well, though, how instead of really evading, he has more something closer to teleportation.
Oh yeah, that's actually pretty cool. And it made it
I always thought from the beginning, I was like, oh, the Ranger, he's probably going to be the person I use the most. But then when playing the Storm, I'm like, oh man, this guy's just the most fun. I do feel he's overpowered as it is, especially with his ultimate. I kind of feel like of ultimates that the Storms especially could be toned down or nerfed a bit.
The developers might think the same, but I'm not. But we have to see when the game comes out in a couple weeks. I got EA access via via Xbox. Heads up, there are
I have EA access.
Heads up, there are a couple enemies around me. Oof. Hey, have you seen the Storm?
The Storm lightning strikes? Yeah, I'd say I've used that actually.
No, I just like
it's actually weird.
Keep looking for the glowy things.
No, mainly been using the one where it's like a huge blast lightning strike. It's really helped with clearing out groups of weaker enemies.
No, I was talking about the lightning strike weather.
Silence. Good work.
Oh, and the weather. Yeah, I've actually
oh my god, you can take a look at me. I'm still clearing this dude like Captain America.
Let's check the second relic. Theory to the test.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You fly, and if you press B, instead of evading, you have the shield up, which is really handy.
It's really boring when
but I wouldn't recommend doing that very much, because the shield can actually be broken through pretty easily if you don't use it wisely.
This one's a lot more crowded. Look, eggs everywhere. Your theory's got legs.
Because the thing people have to remember, that just because you're a tank does not mean you can tank all the abuse. Careful, Nord, what you're doing. You don't want to get killed again.
I'm fine.
Trust me, I know. I've been there, where you actually.
Oh, come on! I guess the Colossus might be the least thing suit I might use.
Yeah, I thought I was going to be someone who could use his thing very well, but I quickly found that I probably am not best suited for that.
Hey, are you lagging? I think I'm lagging here.
No, I'm not personally lagging.
Oh, okay, so it's me. Yeah, did you? Yeah, mine is basically the Hulkbuster, which from my brother told me a lot of people it's pretty common for Colossus to look like the Hulkbuster.
Yeah, I know. I've seen a lot of people do that, and I think it just looks really awesome.
Yeah. Ugh.
And again, because I love the customization of this, you can really make your suit feel like it's wholly your own. And I really like that about it.
Added more
because a lot of games in customization, even if it's fun, there's always a sense of, yeah, there's another person who has something exactly like mine. Whereas in Anthems, it's so big in customization that you literally can feel like there's always something about your loadout that's different from someone else's.
Okay, why isn't
I love it about that.
Isn't the other Colossus like repairing me? Why isn't? Could you patch me up, please?
I'm trying to find where the other two. Yeah, I'm going into you now.
Sorry, it's just that.
No, I get it. I'm surprised the guy was right there and didn't heal you.
Yeah.
That's what I don't understand. Like, you were right there. It's not like like he was under active fire.
Yeah, a couple of days ago, my Xbox wasn't working because there were some issues with Xbox Live. Like, it was so bad that my Xbox actually had trouble running. Did your Xbox have trouble running for a couple hours back on Wednesday?
No, mine didn't. I know my brother mentioned it, though, and he said that he was having those issues, but my Xbox was working just perfectly.
You're lucky.
Yeah, clearly I am.
Hey, you just went past by me. I'm like, hello?
Yeah, I know. Don't worry, I got you. Wait, what the? I just healed you. I was holding X the entire time.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Oh, it's bugged for me now. I can't seem to heal you anymore.
That explains so much.
I have no idea what happened.
Whoa. Okay, now I'm seeing... Okay, this is weird.
What? I at least love there's a waterfall near here, so that way I can always go and make sure that I'm good.
Okay, can you heal me
Let me see,
now?
maybe he could heal you?
Yo, cadet.
Oh, he can't heal you either.
Do I have to, like, log off and stuff?
You may have to.
Yeah,
I can't seem to heal you.
Oh, no. I'll see if I
Oh, but that's right. You can't leave the expedition until it ends up being clear here. Well, hopefully they fix that bug by the time launch hits.
Oh, no.
It seems that whenever there are bugs, it's always of the most frustrating type. But at the very least, communication with Bungie is at least very good. So since they're constantly keeping up. BioWare, yeah, that's what I meant to say. Because BioWare has very much been constantly addressing the issues, acknowledging them, and then exclaiming fixes for them. At least it's good to see, though, we have that.
So I have another thought. What if you all die? Will we start over at this point? Because I am.
Yeah, if we all die, then we start over.
How to a checkpoint or all the way?
To a checkpoint.
Good.
Oh, geez, I was wondering where this was.
Oh god. Oh god.
Freelancer scars.
Alright. Oh, okay, there we go. Okay. Wait, what the hell? I feel like I teleport. What the hell's going on? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm back in the game. So sorry, I was like out of it. It's just like I was not expecting.
Yeah, understandable.
Come on! I hit up with a would be a similarities in looks between the server super vaccine and the range with that. But that was kind of interesting.
Honestly, I actually do see the resemblance, specifically from the thick of it, especially with the helmet.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Specifically, it would be from the server super in Mass Effect 3 that I would say it seems to be most influenced by. So, I actually say, I didn't think about it, but come to think of it, yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense, though.
Well, right now I'm just looking forward to wearing the,
Yeah, I actually was surprised that wasn't in the demo. I thought that would have been something with the demo included. But hey, nevertheless, I'm still willing to see what it's there. If it is a skin that you can purchase, then I'll personally purchase it, regardless of whether or not I have to or not. Because again, if we're going to be getting free post-launch content, I feel that it's only fair that I occasionally buy my microtransactions this year.
Oh shit, ah shit, I'm down again. I am not good as a Colossus, I admit. I am not good as a Colossus.
No, trust me, the Colossus, I was dying. I didn't even get through my stronghold when I was on the Colossus, because I just didn't know how to play him. It all takes a lot of practice, though. Because again, I very much compared him to every other javelin that was around.
Please, you can have the ability to resurrect me. Oh my god, because this glitches on me because I'm a big boy. Oh my god, I can't believe you just said that. Oh my god, that's so weird to say. Like outside of like Twitter and Tumblr. Wow. Who knows? You ever seen some of the stuff for Mortal Kombat 11?
I have seen some of the gameplay of it. It actually looks really awesome. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Especially the extra customization that they're doing, different loadouts and such.
Yeah, like Injustice 2. I've heard that it
definitely shows that they're taking school from that, which hey, I'm more than happy for because Injustice 2 was amazing. It was my most favorite game of 2017.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I wish my
I especially love the story of it, which actually is just as good though as the first Injustice, as far as I get see. And especially for me was just so heartbreaking seeing that ending conversation that Bruce and Superman have when they're after their fight with Wonder Woman and Supergirl. Where they reminisce about the sort of people they used to be.
Yeah.
It definitely was just a very like, oh man, that's really heavy.
Oh god, that thing looks like it's stumping me. Stop it. Alright, seems to be working on my end. Can you resurrect me real quick? Because I really want to get back to the game. Oof.
I'm trying to, because again, though, it's just that a lot of enemies are shooting at me. If I stuck around any longer, I would have also been down.
Fair point. It looks like there's only one enemy. I can only see...
Yeah, but there are also snipers that are shooting at me. The scouts.
Fuck you, snipers. I hate you, snipers. I think is that you floating?
Yeah, that's me. I just said I just pulled my ultimate so that I could kill some of the enemies. I at least killed many of the snipers, so they're out of commission now. A lot of them, anyway.
Oh, thank God.
But damn, I'm almost dead. So I gotta go pick up some of these.
Did they? Does the lore say what they are that explains it, or are they just for gameplay purposes so far?
Not explained as of yet.
Ah, shit. Roaming gnome is down. Shit.
Yeah, I see him.
I see like a scar or two right by me. Yeah, 2 scars.
Oh shit. Yeah, I saw there was just a whole bunch of people shooting at me.
Putting it on hard may be a bad idea, turns out. Sorry.
Oh no, you're good. Again though, when I was in the Colossus, I honestly quit before I even got to this point.
Yeah, I'm having a headache. Just, I was sick with a bit of a fever yesterday. Most of it is gone. Like I was really dizzy and stuff. Like I had trouble walking without stumbling. Oh, I think I see you.
Yeah. I at least killed one of the troopers there, but let's go and make sure that he was out.
Yeah. Alright, my Thane's health seems to be doing pretty good. Yeah. So I've looked up some of the things about what Vader went through with the dark side and showing him what he believed he wanted to see. It reminds me of what Rey saw in The Last Jedi, so I figured there might be a bit of a connection.
What happened? Similarity to Rey?
With Darth Vader going through a vision of sorts, kind of like Rey.
I don't think I'm familiar with it.
You have read the recent Darth Vader comics, have you?
Oh yeah, I have read those. Yeah.
Yeah, where Vader goes through on this weird trippy experience.
Yeah, I actually did read those, or rather, I would say I saw the panels through Star Wars Explained when he showed it in his videos.
Yeah. Alright, can you rest us now?
Relic silenced. Think we're... What was that?
It came from below.
I at least was able to rest him. I hope I at least can rest you now.
If we don't get rid of the source...
Yes, I can actually do that now.
Oh my god, it's just a rare glitch. It's just happens that, it's very rare and it's just going to be very unlucky.
Right. Oh, you actually made it look like Hulkbuster.
Yep. Holy shit, I got shit.
Yeah. I have to say, and also from another pleasant surprise I saw at the movies recently, which also made me think of TLJ, was actually a nice surprise, which is the film The Kid Who Would Be King. I initially was going to pass it off, though, because it just seemed like a movie that didn't seem all that good to me.
Yeah.
More of like a film that's like a... I actually saw it. It was really good, actually. I kind of passed it off because I went like this film doesn't seem for me, but I'm pretty sure that kids would dig it, which I admit if I were definitely a much younger, I already know I would have fell in love with that movie. Yeah, I still think it's really good, nevertheless, and I would say that, especially when it comes to, which isn't really a something that's missed because it's in the trailers, which is where when Alexander thinks that, oh, because the fact I have access to Excalibur, then it must mean that I must be descended from some sort of magical family, where he mentions like Luke Skywalker and Harry Potter. And then basically at closer to the end of the movie, it basically is that, oh no, wait, actually, no, your father was actually a drunk and he actually didn't treat your mother all that good, in fact was an asshole. So actually you're a nobody. And then you can kind of see where I'm going with this. Basically, at the same point, which is that bloodlines are bullshit.
So why would Excalibur take him to be exact? Because of his qualities?
Because he's a good person.
So I was right then? I was too far off?
Yeah, basically, I'm saying it took very much that Last Jedi approach when it came to it, though, where it's like, no, actually, bloodlines don't dictate anything. I think we're waiting for one other person.
Oh, but I can check. I was like, knock.
So yeah, that's why I'd say it was definitely a pleasant surprise, and it also reflects the fact that the rest of the story and the actors are really great, and definitely better than the trailers gave credit for. And so it was just, in general, a really solid movie. I was actually surprised, though, that the lead actor was actually Andy Serkis' son.
Who?
The lead actor, who plays Alex in the movie, that's Andy Serkis' son. He did Caesar in Planet of the Apes, and he was also Snoke in the sequel trilogy.
Oh shit, him?
Yeah, him.
Holy shit!
Yeah, that's why I say yes, it is the Andy Serkis.
And played, Bob.
Yeah, I believe so too. Yeah, and played Bob in the Marvel movies. So yeah, it is the Andy Serkis. And his apparently his the lead actor in The Kitty Would Be King is his son. So yeah, turns out his son's actually a really great actor.
Now, like
who we're missing.
Capture, you'll be like father, like son, eh?
I mean, motion capture is going to be something that all actors are going to have to have done at some point.
My point still stands. What happens if I fall off the cliff?
You'll die.
Oh, never mind. It's just terrible. It's just to get to the mission. Never mind.
Yeah, so where the hell is the other person?
I'm gonna take a look around because...
No, we should have been seeing where he was located by now.
Oh, let me check the map. No, he... Do we lose the fourth person somehow?
We lost one of them, that's what I thought it was, but then the door wouldn't open. I'm starting to think that the door may have actually been glitched. Because again, I should have seen them by now.
At least we're getting an excuse to look around.
Very. It turns out another issue that... This is the first time it's ever happened to me. Well, I'll still report it to the guys at EA. So yeah, it looks like the... Yeah, I would say the two issues is that one, where I had an issue where I couldn't provide Hugo, where there was some issue there, and it turns out that even when what was left of the other teammates didn't seem to open the last door, so it seems that we actually got as far as we can go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that really sucks. Alright, so I think though if this is going to be it, then I guess I'll just call it a night then, because I actually need to do the stronghold.
Wait a second, I need to go back, let's go back, yeah. How do I leave?
You hold start. You press start, and hold end expedition.
All right. Right. All right. It's been fun. I'll see. Let me see if anyone is on.
Wait, hold up. Let's get the experience first, then we'll go.
That's a good point. We're talking a lot about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I definitely talked a lot though because there was just a lot to talk about, really.
Yeah, and talking on topics that we've missed.
Yeah, I think definitely. I think that I could actually dedicate a whole stream just talking about YouTubers because, especially in preparations for new games, since more often than not they just annoy me.
Why do they annoy you?
Definitely a story for another time.
Indeed. Nice. Oh, hey, Alan Cox. You just came out at the tail end of it. Thank you. That was the Hulkbuster. I also made like Eva Unit 1, Vision, and something else.
I really love the attention that that Fort Tarsus actually has inside of it, because even though it feels very small and compact, it actually ironically feels more of like a lived-in city than even many of the games that try to do these large open cities that ironically felt empty.
Like in Destiny and other stuff?
Sort of like that, yeah, where even if the city itself is really big, there's very few inhabitants, so it feels more closer to being empty.
Indeed. I'm gonna try and find a person.
Alright, so...
Yeah.
I think that's good enough, though, so...
Yeah.
Good enough for the stream. It was definitely good having it again.
Indeed.
Alright then, so all you guys go and have yourselves a good night.
You too.
Waiting for you to close the stream.
Alright. Have a good night, everybody. Wait, before we go out, I want to show Alan Cox the javelins real quick. Alright. Alan, if you're still here.
Go ahead. I'm still here.
Okay, this is my Hulkbuster. This is just my little then this is Vision from the Marvel comics and stuff. Yeah, so I tried to replicate it to the best of my abilities. Might be a little darker with red, and there's a Unit 1, which I swear to God, I just like nailed it. Like, nailed it. Well, anyway, have a good night, everybody. Wait. And Ranger, I gotta check out the Ranger. Shit. And, okay, and the Ranger. I haven't come up with the name yet, not yet, but it looks pretty sick. So Shadowhawk, if you happen to catch by my stream as I upload to YouTube and stuff, you should see it for yourself. Anyway,
I'm more than happy to.
Yeah, have a good night, everybody.
Alright, and we'll see you guys next time.
Next time. Hey!